Alright, boys and girls, listen up. We live in a world of garbage, of evil, and of absolute sin. That's why today I've decided someone's got to do something about it. It's me. Now, I may not solve cancer today, but I sure as hell am going to show you how to live a life of peace and perfection. We're going to be looking at the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins! I'm going to show you, each and every one of you, how to avoid them. I'm going to show you how to not let them consume your life. Now, let's go over it. Now, losing weight and not eating may be the most basic answer, aka put that donut down, Wings! Stop shoving feces down your damn throat! But getting there will take time, it will take effort, and you probably can't do it alone. So my best advice to you, have your friends or family help you stay away from junk. Ask them when you go out to not let you eat any bad stuff, and drink lots of water to help cleanse your body of all the waste in your lungs, etc. Now if you still live with your parents, make them cook you good healthy dinners with vegetables, proteins, and low carbs. And eventually, your body will start to get used to this new lifestyle and won't crave food as much as before. Now sure it'll take time, but boo-hoo! That's life. Not gonna get there just for the sake of it. Moving on. So sloth is a lot like gluttony, only the sitting around and doing nothing part is the key factor here. Example, just sitting around playing an obsolete game from almost a decade ago, I just winked, definitely qualifies. So how to fix doing nothing is another basic answer. First step, find an excuse to go outside. It can be whether going to the store, that requires driving, or taking a bus, or even just taking yourself for a good old walk. Try to do this as much as possible, and then look up a hobby that requires, again, going outside. It can be either doing something by yourself, like maybe running or going to a gym, though probably not. It can be a group activity like archery or camping or anything with other people around you to help, stay motivated. Keep this up over and over, and eventually you might get interested in other things for your personal life and end up selling your console for money. Wait. Ah! Okay, here's one almost everyone can relate to. So here's Bob with his acne-ridden face, unibrow, debt-ridden house, broken car, and having his parents send him money all the time. Meanwhile, his neighbor Eddie in his Miami house with his 11-pack, dating Margaret Robbie, and driving the Megazord to work is taunting him 24/7 with all his riches and his luck. Is probably a little more exaggerated than your problems. So A, hashtag give Bob a chance, and B, if you feel jealous of anyone in any way, there's a few healthy tips for it. The most common one being someone who is dating someone you like, or that someone has something you want. This is the hardest one to explain so far, but the actual answer is, again, simple.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, that's pretty much how to sum it up. But to get serious, what you need to do is accept that it is what it is and move on. Even if it's always around you, like at work or school. Just learn to not let it bother you by talking to your friends and family about it and figuring out how to deal with it and what you as a person could do to make yourself feel better without lubricating all over his car. Bob, get down now! Sorry about that. Now, whether that means cleaning yourself up and going out and doing something to take your mind off things is up to you. Just keep in mind, the more effort you put in, the more spiritually at peace you shall become with yourself. Yeah. Alright, now, I will bet you my portal gun you have had an erection in the last 12 hours thinking about someone who gives you those funny feelings. The question is though, are you willing to overcome that lust and learn control and tranquility of your mind? No? Yeah, I must apologize. So getting over your desires, you need to learn several things. 1. Learn respect for others. If you allowed lust to be the driver in your daily relation with others, you're not connecting fully with yourself. You're allowing your bodily desires to determine who you are and how you behave, rather than letting your mind and personality do some of the thinking. Likewise, you are not respecting them by viewing them in a lustful way. If you truly have feelings for them, you will work hard and fight these feelings to do the right thing by them and by yourself. Number 2, please have some self-awareness. Please try and be aware of how you look and act around others. A lot of people who get fed up that girls don't want them seem to not understand the fact that their hair is a gravy factory. They have pimple explosions all over their faces, and they smell like what happens when sweat dies. Listen, dirtbags. There's a difference between caring and lusting. If you really care about someone, then you need to clean up your act, be the best person you can possibly be, and stop letting your emotions cloud your every moment and judgment. Now, hold on to your pride. Can be a good thing at times to, keep yourself out of an embarrassing situation. But other times, it can make you look like the most stubborn fool on the planet. The definition of the word pride is being especially proud of a certain skill or qualification of which you have. This means you might end up basing your whole life around this certain skill, like your fighting style or your writing techniques, and it could end up consuming you and just taking over your life. It's considered a sin because it causes selfishness and arrogance, which is something that commonly happens with like big time celebrities, YouTubers. I mean, look at former UFC fighter Ronda Rousey. This woman was built up as being the actual Terminator that could murder you with her left toe. Eventually though, she started to believe that for herself. She actually legitimately thought she was that stuff. Until... Can't lift my leg that high. Holly Holmes knocked her brains all over the mat and made her look like a flippin' child throughout the whole fight. This is what happens when you let pride get the best of you. What you need to do, learn to be humble, respect others. If someone says, hey, you got a pretty good skill set, it's fine to work on it, but don't let it consume you. Don't let it define who you are. Don't. Yeah, so I lost power there for a little while. Pole gun, camera and stuff. Been hanging out here for a few days now. The camera's just charged up. I might as well get started in here, I guess, before it goes out again. So, yeah.
Let's go.
Greed is something that affects us on a global scale, whether it be in the entertainment business or political, economical BS, whatever it is, it's all something that, we have to deal with on a daily basis. But what I will not allow, boys and girls, is for you to let that consume your life as well. Anyway, what you do to fix this is simple. Learn and understand charity. Now, what I mean is, you need to learn the desires of others before acting out on the desires of yourself. If someone needs something more than you do, that person has the right to have it before you can. Accepting to give others more is the first step to becoming a humble, well-rounded human being. Because sometimes the more you want every blasted piece of land without leaving your fellow neighbor a single goddamn thing. So, think before you act, and you will overcome greed. When we're ready to go.
Can all get a little angry sometimes, and we wish we could control it. So let's do that. First, you need to seek a good friend, or friends, or therapist, who you feel like is a good listener and legitimately cares for you. Tell them all the things that get you angry, and talk about what you can do to control said angers and take your mind off things, and to not let those problems bother you.
That's it. Yeah, that's really it. Not all of these have to be like mastercrafted, like 1,000 words. Like, no, some answers short.